What's up, guys? It's a cold one today. We're about 15 degrees right now. Pretty cold. But I want to talk to you about the 3 best times of the year that you can possibly kill a buck. It's going to vary from property to property and how your property is laid out, but it's also going to depend on what's around your property and your neighbor's property, what they are doing. Because what your neighbor is doing is going to directly affect your property, especially on those super small properties. It has a direct impact on your land. And the reason I'm making this video is because I had somebody email me. A lot of times I make videos, it's based off, questions, phone calls, texts, emails, whatever it is, YouTube comments. I'm making videos based off of them because I want to help, the average person, as many hunters as possible. They email me and said that, they're not having any luck on their property, and they're telling me what their neighbors are doing, and they're giving me details on how they're hunting, what they're doing on their property, how they're entering, how they're exiting. They sent me a map. They showed me all kinds of different things on their property. I wanted to help this guy out, and in the end of it, it really wasn't his fault because of what his neighbors were doing. His neighbors were riding ATVs around the property border. They were shooting anything they seen, everything they see, and there was not much he could do. It was only 15 acres. It's pretty small. That's a small property. But I'm talking about this is because a lot of times we can do the best we can on our own land and still not have results. And I see a lot of people getting disappointed about that because of TV shows and different hunters shooting monster bucks, 180-inch deer all the time. And it's a direct impact on the land that you're hunting. It's a relation to the land you're hunting. Not everybody has that type of land. I would say for the amount of hunters in the world, there's a very small portion of hunters that has the ability to be able to not have those types of neighbors and be able to have a property that's unpressured and land around them that's unpressured. The number one deer intrusion situation is through humans. It's not other deer, it's what hunters do on their property and what other hunters do around their property. With that in mind, do not get depressed because you're not killing deer all the time, you're not seeing deer all the time. Yes, there's improvements we can make, absolutely 100%. There's improvements we can make on our land. We can strategically set it up through a plan, habitat plan. You can put in food plots, bedding, this, and this, and this, and you can improve your land. But what your neighbors do have a direct impact on your land. If deer are bedding on your land, we can create bedding. If deer are bedding on your land, right? If they stay there, okay, you might be able to control that movement from bedding to feeding for an afternoon hunt, right? But the problem is when you get on those super small properties, that deer is not staying on your land 100% of the time. It's still going to go over to your neighbors, to the east, south, northeast, south, wherever it is. It's still going to go out to the ag field. If those guys are over there riding ATVs, pushing the deer, poaching the deer, spotlighting the deer, guess what? The deer, it's going to affect that deer, even if it's on the neighbor's property. That deer may not go back to your property. It may go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 a mile from your land because of constant pressure, right? So no matter what you do on your land, it's still not making an impact because of what your neighbors are doing. Trust me, it has a direct impact. All lands are different. I've hunted lands, I've been hunting for 22, 23 years, and depending on the land that I'm hunting, what the neighbors do has a direct impact on my land. But the 3 best times in this type of situation is early season, literally the first week of the season, because there's no human pressure. The deer are still on a feed, the summer bedding to feed pattern. You catch them in the afternoons, catch them early in the morning coming back to their bedding. On those cool mornings, cool afternoons, you can catch them on that pattern. It's pretty common during opening day, opening week, especially in some of those states where they season starts September 3rd, 5th. Here in Maryland starts, I believe, like the 8th. Kentucky, I was out there early season this year, killed a buck. I think the season starts September 3rd or 4th maybe, but there's no pressure in the woods. The deer are not seeing humans, they're not seeing hunters, they're not getting arrows slung at them. That first week of the season is prime hunting time to be out in the woods, even if it's hot. You got to remember, deer still feed when it's hot, right? They feed all summer long. Just because it's September doesn't mean they stop feeding, you know, quote unquote, the October lull. It's because of human pressure that interferes that issue, and it just pushes them somewhere, and they move shorter distances, food, you know, is changing, and so on. The next best time is during the rut, obviously. Does go into heat every 28 days. You can catch that early rut, end of October, early November, catch that rut. Bucks are stoop at that time of year, have the does, have a food source. Bucks are gonna come in there, hunt bedding areas. That first, you know, week or two of the season, it's gonna be prime hunting season. The next situation is obviously late season. You know, there's no real tricks in this video. You know, you have early season, mid, you know, during the rut, and then late season. You get those late season situations where the deer wore out, they're hungry, you get cold weather, you get snow, the deer hammering the food sources. If you have food plots and such, you can control that movement for the afternoon and have a good food source for the deer to kind of regenerate and build up body energy, build up, you know, heat again. They're packing on the pounds to go into harsh conditions in the wintertime. And that's a great way to harvest a deer as well, is that late season. You know, a lot of people give up around, you know, Christmas or so, but your season still goes in January. It's a great time to get out and hunt. You can hunt those late season food sources and have good success with it. But again, I'm making this video is because when most hunters are in this type of situation where all of a sudden we get mid-October and I start getting questions and emails saying it's October, all my deer turned nocturnal, or they all disappeared. Well, it's because of human pressure, food sources are changing and such. But whatever your neighbors are doing has a direct impact on your land. Always remember that. It's not necessarily that you're doing something wrong. Don't feel bad about yourself. It's what your neighbors are doing. If it's a constant problem, if you can talk to them, whatever, figure out a game plan, or sometimes it may be best to just get rid of that property and go someplace else. But what they do has an impact on your land. I don't care what anybody says. In the comments below, let me know your situation down below if this relates to you. I know it relates to most of the hunters in the world. I promise you, what they do has an impact on your land. Drop a comment down below if you enjoyed the video. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new. We're gonna walk around here, see what else we can find. We're getting some photos taken on some. There's some rabbits and birds running around. We're getting some photos of that, and we're enjoying the day. It's cold out. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you want more information on food plots, soil samples, and habitat management, click this video right here on the screen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you guys are new.